Joined in the studio by legal expert Nthabiseng Dubazana from Dubazana Attorneys. Nthabiseng, good morning and thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, another public protector's case in court. It looks like she's living there nowadays. It's like a never-ending road here. This particular case is interesting because it's when she actually, for remedial action, she said the president is the one who should have made the decisions.
Yeah.
Around that Ivan Pillay package and not the finance minister, and that she said the president must discipline the finance minister on this particular issue.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure what her investigations led her, they led her to that conclusion, but the president ought to have had knowledge, at bare minimum, about what was going to happen regarding the finance minister, the Ivan Pillay issue. So it is not far-fetched that she would have said that he would have been the one to take action against the Ivan Pillay in this situation. So what was done regarding by the finance minister at the time, it shouldn't have been an isolated situation. It should have been a situation whereby both the president and the finance minister were in cahoots, for lack of a better term, together.
Yeah, now this whole issue of Ivan Pillay's pension payout saga has got a number of touch points, but in this particular one is the president really saying that we can't do anything at this stage. We can't implement your remedial action until the whole judicial review has been done. So it's an application of sorts of trying to stop that as well.
Yes. The public protectors reviews, or rather the judgments, for lack of a better term, are as enforceable as anything coming from the High Court.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So it means what she says goes. So taking it to High Court for it to be interdicted or stopped is the correct way, because it is already a High Court order. It's already an order of the court that is supposed to be implemented. Now the president is saying, wait. Let me have these things sorted out first. Let me stop you right there, and let me sort this thing out first, and then see if your findings are what if they were, and then the remedies can now be put into action.
Yes, I mean, we know that the remedial actions are binding,
yes.
And but at the moment there will be a sense that the public protector has not, I mean, covered herself in glory, so to speak. I mean, yesterday the finding was very scathing in the court in the other matter.
Yeah.
Her confidence levels walking to court this morning, I would imagine, might be low.
Most probably. However, I tend to differ with the decisions that was made. Let me go back to the one where she is now made to pay her order of costs. I'm with the dissenting judgment in that one from Mogoeng and one other against the majority judgment. It does not make any sense to make the public protector pay the cost when she was in the scope of her duties, and she must pay in her personal capacity. It is not as if it's a right-out vendetta against the head of state. It's not like it's a right-out vendetta against Mr. Pravin Gordhan and everybody else she's investigated so far. So her duty, working in her scope and as public protector, she should not have been made to pay her own legal costs in her personal capacity.
But what I understood from the judgment yesterday in terms of that was that the Judge Potrel was saying that she didn't understand why she was opposing this in court because it was not really, it's not going to damage her irreparably.
That is correct. I agree there. What is being required there is that no, the minister was just trying to get a point whereby the order is being suspended, be halted until other things,
the judicial review has taken place,
taken care of, right? So now the situation in that instance, her going to court to defend that, maybe she probably would have thought that the suspension was going to hurt the actual case. Now it would probably mean that if the suspension is upheld, which it was, then at this stage it means that her investigations are now going to be, the things that she has found out could probably be covered up, or things could be hidden, and etc. Maybe that is the why she wanted to oppose it, because she wanted this thing to happen immediately. immediately so that the remedial actions can happen as soon as possible.
Okay, well, that might be the case. I mean, currently, standing from outside, we're looking in, we're wondering what's going on in that office. I mean, the Deputy Public Protector, Kevin Malunga, for example, is now saying things have gone wrong in the Public Protector's office. The Deputy Public Protector says there needs to be more consultations within the Chapter 9 institution. Malunga made the comments last night while speaking to the Politburo's Vuyo Mvoko.
I think there's a lot of things that I think the office has gotten wrong.
Like?
For example, I think we should be consulting each other a lot more. I don't know anything about the ABSA report, sitting here as Deputy Public Protector.
How come?
That's what I'm saying.
But how do you work? How does it?
That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you that. And I think that should have been done better. But I think these are lessons that, that probably should be learned in future for the institution to grow. And all this is part of the growth process. But the point I'm making here is that we are conforming to the service standards as far as the day-to-day work of the institution.
But how do you work if you don't work? Because what you've just said suggests that you don't work as a team.
That's what I'm saying, Vuyo, that there's obviously...
Why is there hostility between you?
Of course not. Of course not.
So how is it that, have you been able to, for example, raise with her your concerns?
Look, you know, you remember, Vuyo, there was that interesting period when there was all that funny, silly excitement. Oh, Malunga doesn't have security clearance and all that rubbish. That's not a spy agency. This is the public protector. So I can't, there's certain things that I cannot answer as a result of that terrible period. But we have been working right now, right? And the institution is trying by all means to ensure that the most vulnerable, the grassroots in the society, are protected.
Very strong sentiment expressed by Kevin Malunga there last night. But, I mean, in trying to decipher what is really going on, to try and find the truth, I think balance would to give a different view to balance this. I thought let's also listen to Opa Sikhalo, who's the public protector spokesman, this morning on ENCA, telling us there's nothing wrong with the deputy public protector not being involved in certain cases. And he says the deputy will take the cue from the public protector. Let's take a listen to that.
Locally, the Deputy Public Protector has always had work delegated to him by the Public Protector. And when I say historical, I refer to even before Advocate Mkhwebane came into office and before Advocate Malunga himself came into office. How that happens is that the Public Protector would deal with matters relating to one branch of investigations within the office. Say, for example, the Good Governance and Integrity branch, which deals with issues of corruption, executive ethics, and so forth. Those matters would fall under the Public Protector. And then the Deputy Public Protector is delegated work relating to service delivery issues, especially what we call early resolution matters. So it's not surprising that he will say he was not involved in one case, just like he was not involved in Kanda, just like he was not involved in state capture, because he has a specific work that is allocated to him to look into.
Okay. Nthabiseng, two different views. Kevin Malunga strongly last night on Politburo here on EN saying no consultations is not the right way, seemingly. But Opa this morning, the spokesperson, say, but he doesn't get involved in everything. Historically, he's not been involved in everything. He takes the cue from the public protector. Just listen to these two gentlemen. Yeah. One is a deputy public protector, and what he's saying gives the sense that things are not well in the public protector's office, the Chapter 9 institution. But listening to Opa, you get a different view. Your sense, what could be going on there? Is Kevin Malunga gunning for the top position?
Yeah, I don't know about if he's gunning for the top position or not. I don't know what his intentions there are, but I agree with the second speaker. He doesn't have to know everything. He is the deputy public protector. So the fact that he's saying there's no teamwork, I feel that, I'm of the opinion rather, that he's misleading the public. Because in the way that in any Section 9 unit would work. There's delegation of powers, and there's also separation of powers. So if the public protector has chosen to deal with this certain segment or certain area of investigations, if she wants the deputy to be involved, then she will inform him. But if she's choosing her own people to go and investigate with her and continue and run with this, then she is entitled to do so. It is not a must that the deputy should be told what is going on. And saying there's lack of teamwork is also misleading, because you cannot work in isolation. So which means there are meetings that are done on a regular. There are people that are involved in this thing. It doesn't mean because he's not involved that there is no teamwork.
Away from the legalities,
yes,
it's my sense, will it be unfair of me or fair of me to be saying things are not well in that office for a deputy public protector to come out and make these assertions, despite the law being clear for a Chapter 9 institution that is a delegation of power and, as you say, a separation of power. Yeah. Is it a fair summation that things are not well in there?
I would not say in the entire office. I'll probably say between the two people. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. That's Nthabiseng here. She's with us for the better part of the morning because of this pending court battle this morning in Tshwane between the public protector and President Cyril Ramaphosa, involving that old matter of that controversial pension payout to the former Deputy Commissioner of SARS, Ivan Pillay.